Today I'm speaking on the topic of depression. More and more, this dark monster, if you will, is holding so many people captive in its all-encompassing tentacles. If we look at the statistics, if we look at what's happening in the pharmaceutical markets and the prescription drugs that treat this dark and dreadful disease, it's becoming in itself somewhat of a pandemic. And the thing is, while there is a place for pharmaceuticals and while depression is somewhat of a complex diagnosis, in essence, we're simply numbing ourselves. We're simply achieving a level of existence where it's only that, existence, going through the motions. I'd like to suggest that one of the small ways in which we are able to take our power back is to realize that one of the causes of depression lies in the idea that we didn't make it and we don't know how to. The idea of comparison, the idea not only of comparing ourselves to others, to our peers, to those in our social circle, and feeling a sense of, I couldn't crack it, I can't accomplish that, I simply don't know how to. Also, far more insidiously, it's comparing ourselves to ourselves of yesteryear, where we say, I used to be carefree, I used to be joyful, I used to be able to set a goal and fulfill it. I was ambitious. I had awesome relationships. Life was good. And it's not that way anymore. And I don't know how to make it that way again. And perhaps even comparing ourselves to a future version of ourselves where we imagine we'd like to be, and we simply don't have the tools or the know-how to get there. It seems so overwhelming and it seems so disempowering. Our past is simply that. It's a version of history that we tell ourselves. And our future is our imagination. If we were to attempt a mental exercise in which we blocked off a section of time and we placed ourselves in the now. Play a game with yourself, if you will, and make a statement that what if the past didn't exist? There was no version of myself, and the only self that exists is this self now, in this given moment. And the future doesn't exist either. Right now, here I am, in the now. What can I do to gain some sense of gratification if this were my only moment in time? And I'll suggest further, looking to the mundane. It is in the mundane that we find the most contentment and the most peace. Those highs, those moments of incredible achievement, incredible joy, they're fleeting. They're not sustainable. They're meant to be simply rewards, if you will. And it's wanting to live in that space continually that kind of tricks us into imagining that life is full of despair and we become dejected. Whereas if I take a simple task, let's take the task of washing dishes, and I imagine that this moment, this task, washing the dishes, is the only moment that I will have, and I begin to become wholly absorbed in that moment, I find that there's a sense of pleasure. I find that there's a sense of immense satisfaction. Simply being present, not thinking of anything else other than the sensations of the soap on my hands and how the dishes a moment ago were dirty And now, through a process that I am engaged with, they become clean. There is a sense of satisfaction in that. There is a sense of accomplishment. There's a sense of meaning. There's a sense of contributing, even in some small way. And the trick is when you'll say to yourself, this is ridiculous, I'm just washing dishes. Right there is the comparison to another given moment in time that for now need not exist. Take another moment. Take a moment in which you're simply loving your pet and be present in that moment, being fully aware of the sensations of rubbing your hand in the fur of your dog, warm, soft, bringing joy to the animal, watching and noticing how much joy the animal is deriving from your action and how much joy you are experiencing yourself simply by reciprocity of giving love and receiving it, giving affection and receiving it. No need to compare yourself to any given space of yesterday or tomorrow. And yes, there is a space and there is a time for setting goals and for becoming more than what you imagined you could. And when you're in the grips of depression, it's not that time. The time is simply now. And then take on another task, just as seemingly mundane, and yet so very rewarding. The task of simply brushing your hair, feeling the sensations on your scalp, experiencing a moment in which change and transformation occurs, experiencing taking a walk, breathing in the air, feeling your body move from one position or place or location to another, and realizing that you are capable of transformation, albeit tiny. If this were the only given moment, can I experience satisfaction? Can I experience some sense of connectivity to the task, to the sensations, to myself? And if I can, then each and every given moment holds that same sense of satisfaction, reward, that same sense of joy, peace, contentment, simply being in the now. Fiona D'Souza, Shekhinah Wellness Centre.